Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim today.
I'm doing well, thanks. Like I said, just warming up here in Finland. Spring is coming and looking forward to having a chat with you.
Awesome. So, Albert, let us know a little bit about what you are doing and
Yep.
about you, like
So
what you are doing.
I have an interesting story. I'm a South African guy, but I have a Hungarian wife and I live in between Helsinki and Budapest. So it's a pretty crazy story, but if you're a global brand expert and a global brand writer like myself, that's what is really gets you going. The culture, living across all the different traditions and insights that you get from people to make global brands work all over the world. So that's been a big factor in what I do. You know, I run my own sort of global brand consultancy. I'd like to say at the moment I'm going to focus on global brand writing, especially with AI coming out. So that's a little intro, and I don't want to carry on. You can keep going.
Awesome. So, let us know, like, what are your core responsibilities in your company? Because I can understand every founder has multiple hats. Wearing multiple hats, yeah, I'm sure you also must be wearing a lot of hats. So let us know what are your core.
Yeah, I'm actually, how could I say, a solo entrepreneur if you talk like that, because I was working remotely with teams almost like the people are working today, sort of 10 or 12 years ago. I was a creative director in the big ad agencies around the world and a copywriter, and managing the people and all that becomes such a big part of your day that often you're unable to do the work yourself. You end up fixing other people's problems, and you've got to, be on the ball, find those answers, and that's great. But, I'm a real craftsman. I love my work and my writing and to sit down and think. And sometimes the shortest way to do things is to do it yourself. And you end up doing so much of that. I was like, I might as well get out and do it myself. So I was lucky enough to have some clients that wanted to work with me because they knew me from my times of working with the agencies, and they just kept going like that. Keep a good work and life balance. Yeah. I have 3 young boys, and now they're teenagers. So that was a big factor in trying to balance those things. And my wife she's a solo flutist in the Finnish National Opera. So when you have a partner that's playing late at night and things like that, and the scheduled performances, I can't be like, I got to, work all night. I got a pitch for tomorrow. That kind of workflow didn't quite work for me.
Yeah, makes sense. Completely makes sense. So, in terms of your marketing side, because marketing is an essential for any business. So, are you doing marketing? And if you're doing marketing, are you doing online marketing or offline marketing?
Are you talking about like for myself or for clients? Yeah, for myself, it's basically a lot of it is offline, I guess. Knowing people, getting them to contact you, and word of mouth is a big episode in my work. And I think at the moment I'm focusing a lot on AI and definitely using that to expand the online part, because nowadays, of course I have a good online presence with my work, and 20 odd years of experience goes a long way to keep interest going. But I'm definitely nowhere near where I should be in terms of online sort of presence and awareness, especially now when things are a bit tricky with the economies around the world being in a bit of a mess.
So, in terms of client acquisition, what are your steps to acquire a client? Because obviously, in your case, there are a lot of things that are involved before onboarding a client.
Well, yeah, that's a good question, because there's so many different ways. So for me, mainly it's the expertise that there's 2 ways. One is normally the people know me, so they say, hey, listen, the guy that was working for you on, I don't know, say make it ABB wind energy or whatever it was, because I do a lot of B2B industrial stuff as well, which is a really nice field. I like to work on that because it's a lot more challenging and there's more space to move than chocolates and automotive. It's nice. The consumer side gets a bit cluttered, and a lot less sort of focus on the brand structure. Normally, I'm able to connect with the CEOs and the people that They go, listen, I heard about your work, or, they contact me and ask me about, whether it's sometimes via LinkedIn, sometimes via word of mouth. It's kind of very niche like that. I'm not a big corporate player, as it were. It's quite a niche channel. So I like that. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Really makes sense. So on the other hand, basically, but our podcast is more like motivational and encouraging for other entrepreneurs. So can you let me know a little bit about the inspiration behind why you started this business, why you are doing all? Because every work have a why behind the scene. So
Absolutely.
please share with us.
I mean, like everyone, or maybe not like everyone, I don't know, but I had a dream to play professional cricket and be, sports star coming from South Africa, and all my family's into cricket. But once I was right in the professional ranks and I was doing a bit of work, and I've always been a creative guy, being able to write, and I used to draw really well. And I was like, I love sport. Like, there's got to be something, just something missing that, I love the game so much, but I feel like there's something missing. I don't know what it is. I'm not like a business or a maths guy, or I don't want to be a lawyer, and actually it's really funny. It took me till I was about 25 to find a friend of mine who said, no, I'm going to study advertising at the AAA School of Advertising in South Africa. Played in my cricket team. I was a captain, and I was like, what? What do you mean? And so I always had in my mind that, what I'm good at is solving problems when there are no answers. What could that be? And then he said, no, they've got this and this design and this. And I was like, wow. So I did the design side and I got in. So it was like, yeah, okay, this is good. But once I was studying there, I found, there's teams, copywriters, advertising guys. Now, this is like 1996 or something. Advertising and all that wasn't very big in my kind of world. The schools were very focused on sport and business and academics. Creativity was kind of like a hippie thing to do. And I was like, no way, I can actually, I'm great at English. I love to write. And I read a lot about David Ogilvy and, gentlemen with brains, and how the branding structures worked with he was obviously a big inspiration for me in seeing that, oh, wow, you can actually make such a difference, from the Bill Burnbacks of the world, where the brand started from just like word of mouth, or maybe this is good, but then suddenly when TV and print became big, you got the whole purpose of branding. And that was just like, wow, I could actually make it. This is so interesting. I can create these stories, solve these problems, and work with people, travel the world. So I was like, oh, I'm in. So that's why I got in. I was really just like, I think if you take, like, many things that are important in the world, but for branding, I don't think it gets, or brands themselves. The whole purpose is to help people simplify their lives and make better choices, inspire people to make, they either aspire to something or they buy the right thing. But the brand itself is always a great idea from somebody who wants to make the world better. I mean, normally that's the case. So whether it's shoes or chocolate or some special lubricant for an engine or, green energy, there's always some real amazing innovation and story behind it. It often gets lost in the commercial buzz. And that's what I was like, yeah, that's the story. That's the meaningful stuff that I love. And that sadly, some of the big agencies in the corporate world, they want to miss that sometimes. They want to do what makes money for them, and they often forget the founders of these companies or the ideas behind them. That's really about making human life better, everyday life better, simpler, and just full of innovation and ideas. So that's my sort of inspiration. It's like, yeah, it just sounds like such a interesting world to be in. Creativity, business, in between, problem solving, get to travel, can write, work with lots of people. Perfect. So that was my main. If that makes sense, you can ask any other question.
Well, that completely makes sense. But on the other hand, do you think inspiration or the why is an important thing to start a business, or you can say
I think
a
if
business?
you're not in love with the why you do it, you're never going to make it, because especially in creativity or like in anything you start up, people are like, no, that's rubbish. Well, I don't know. My wife has a better idea. Or, there's always, you got to believe in yourself and really have a good focus. I don't think you can, you got to feel, I mean, hopefully from what I've just said, you feel that there's some passion behind what I do. And, I love it. When I wake up in the day and I'm like, yeah, I can really sit about and think about branding and writing or marketing, like with a real problem to solve, and obviously real clients. That also helps. It's not just pie in the sky stuff. that's what I really like. And I think the why is so important to me. If you don't have that, it's very difficult to be passionate or become an expert in what you do. I don't know if you find that.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm sure you must have faced many challenges, and almost every entrepreneur face a lot of challenges. Can you share one challenge that you have ever faced and how you were able
Mm.
to fix it or
Yeah,
conquer
let's
it?
see. Many. A good one was one of the funniest ones actually was being here in the Nordics. I arrived, one of the best stories ever, because normally things are quite complicated when you move countries. And so I was walking around the parks in Helsinki and I saw the ad agency, big global ad agency. And I was like, whoa, they speak English. They got global ad agencies. This is like 2005. So I said, wow, it's just so cool. I'll go and talk to the guy. I walked in and I talked to the managing director there. And he was like, you a native English creative director, copywriter. You want to come to Helsinki? Just get here. We're the best agency in Finland. We'll look after you. So I said, you really? So I said, if I go back, just write me a letter. Here's my email, just to confirm that, you will have a job and I'll be here 3 months. He said, perfect. So I got the letter, had to wrap up. I was in working in Kuala Lumpur at the time. Had to wrap up, took 3 months. I came back, like, put my bags down. The next morning I went to work and the guy was like, oh, yeah, great. It was so like bizarre. It's like no big fanfare. And about the second week, they asked me, they said, hey, you need to talk to the guys at Nissan from there. I think there's some brief. You need to go and see what they're doing. And I was like, oh, okay. So I walked in and the CEO of Nissan Nordic Europe was actually, it was a South African guy as well. And he was like, hey, Boyd, how are you doing? Yeah, great. So we need you and your team to set up and organize 7 countries, the Nordics and the Baltics. You've got to set that up for us. And I was like, yeah, well, yeah. Like straight, I had no idea what he was going to ask, nothing. I had no idea. So I went back to the office, like, we might have to sit down and have a chat about what we have to do. We've got quite a big challenge on here. And that took us 5 years to sort out with all the people, and that was, the cultures in the Nordics are so different. It was really crazy 5 years to figure that out. But I think if you, like I said, you got to love your job and you got to love those challenges, and you can solve them if you have a good why.
Yeah, indeed. Awesome. So, but let us know if someone is going to start a business, what would be your biggest advice to that
Yeah, I think
new
one is you got to really have a good focus. So don't think that you can generalize. I mean, I've been a bit like that even with my work. It's like, yeah, I do films or I do writing? I do. That's why I said at the moment I'm actually starting a new sort of focus on being a global brand writer, combining AI with all my skills and creating a real focus, whether it's GPT or my own platform. Because to reach people nowadays, the whole world's changed. It's all one. The agency structures are totally different. They've always wanted younger people and more social media now, and things are, really moving fast. They've got their own AI engines and stuff as well. But they are all just tools if you don't have the expertise. So in the high level creativity, you have a real focus to look at. So I think definitely I find like having moved, and when things are going well, sure, there's too much of, not such a problem. But like now, and when things are really focused or things are changing, you really need to have a one core focus. And it's a bit like a friend of mine told me a great story also, and I always use it for this type of answers. If you've got milk, because I grew up on a farm in Africa as well, you make that milk really well. The people you sell it to will ask you, well, maybe can you make butter? And then you go, and because my mate needs a lot of butter. Then then the guy who makes butter is like, I sell my butter to all the restaurants, and can you make yogurt? Like for the Greek. And so if you're good at one thing, then you really get known for that. Then you're able to your business can grow because you have a reputation and people trust you. So I would say for everyone starting up, have a really good focus, and obviously being focused on the money side of things as well is really important, because without the cash flow, that's really tough, and you see it now. It's not that easy to recover or to keep things like really smooth. So that side is, I don't think it should be like too much of a focus in terms of stopping your big idea, but it's important that it's not a downer. It doesn't stop you from, and I think being really good at what you do is something that is really important. Otherwise, let me just turn my phone off. I thought it was off. So schoolboy error. It's definitely one of those things that if you're not focused and you're not sure where you want to go and you're not good enough in terms of your ability to believe in yourself, even on your worst day, that's going to be a problem when things are not going that well. If you want to bring in the question, the best bit of advice I've got or that I know, adversity reveals genius, prosperity conceals it. And I think this is one of the biggest factors that I've found is never ever forget why you started and how you're passionate, because that's the thing that it's not always going to, business and life is like this. It's really knowing how to keep that focus when things are bad or when things are good. Like, yeah, okay, I'm right here, but I know that things are going well. What do I need to remember when I'm down there again? It's important. And then you're able to get the best out of every situation.
Exactly. Completely makes sense. Yeah, focus is one of the, I believe, key thing whenever you are doing a business. It's one of the most important thing, I believe. Awesome. Well, that was a beautiful advice. So at the end, please let our viewers know how they can reach you if anybody wants to reach you. You can share your website, your social media.
Yeah, I'm just making a new platform called the Global Brand Writer. It's not up yet, but it's coming. But my main website is keybrands.com, key as in a harbor, so QUAY brands.com. And that's where the whole platform lives and all my mates that I work with and some brilliant global craftsmen that work with me from animation to design. And but yeah, otherwise I'm available whenever. Just look me up, Boyd Benkenstein. You'll get me. There's only one of me. I have a twin brother, but his name's Brett, so you won't get mixed up. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Boyd, it was really nice
Yeah.
talking to you. I really enjoyed the conversation. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
stay in
Get me
touch.
again if you
Thank
want.
you for joining us today.
And all the best. Enjoy the cricket in Lahore. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.